What's up, y'all? It's your girl Genesis, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I hope something today blesses you, and if you're a returning subscriber, then you already know the vibes, okay? If you can tell by the description box below, today we are doing a spirituality Q&A mukbang, baby, seafood mukbang. So I'm gonna answer all of the questions that you guys sent me and just give my experience on how I got involved with New Age spirituality and just how it led me back to God. So be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into the tea.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing. Heart beating fast. They ain't one bad when I treat you right.
Y'all, this seafood is hitting, okay? Let me tell you that. And my favorite part of the seafood boil is always the fixings. Like, in particular, the corn. Baby, if you give me some corn with the seasonings and the butter, But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the questions. So, what was your first experience with New Age spirituality? I'm gonna give y'all a backstory on me because, believe it or not, I was born and raised in the church. Like, my mom to this day is the church secretary, and my daddy, God bless his soul, was the church deacon. So when it came to things like tarot or, you know, like crystals, things of the occult, as a little girl, I was always real scared because I just felt like, you know, that was just like the devil, that was demon stuff, and I didn't get into it. I didn't even like horror movies. So that was something that I had really never dabbled in until I got older. And how I got introduced to it was one day, it was back in like 2018. I was going through so much mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you know, and I went on YouTube. And I cannot remember the creator's name, but it was a pick-a-card reading. And if you are not familiar, pick-a-cards are where like they have like different decks, and you pick a group, and then they'll read like the energy. And when I tell y'all, that girl read my situation to filth, honey, girl, she read everything down to the zodiac signs. Like, y'all, it was so accurate. And I was just like, oh my God, like, you know, this is it. So I started becoming a little obsessive, okay? And I started watching more and more pick-a-cards. And each time I watched a new pick-a-card group, it resonated even more and even more for different situations I was going through. So eventually I was just like, you know, I can do this. I feel like I was called to, you know, do this. And I'm the type of person, like, whenever I go places, like, people will come up to me and just start talking to me. They'll start telling me things they're going through, their life story. You know, even online, people would just come to me for advice. And I was just like, oh, I must have a gift of, you know, y'all don't mind my hair, this wind in jail, I don't even care no more. But, you know, I just was like, oh, I must have a gift for, you know, what do they say, like, foreseeing. So eventually I started, you know, getting into reading it myself. Now, at first, I wasn't just reading publicly. I would read to myself and to close friends I had at the time. But eventually, I did take my tarot readings public. Y'all, the experience when I went public was way different because, like, when you are a spiritual being, like, we all spiritual. Let's start there. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. A lot of people be having like spiritual baggage, and I wasn't aware at the time of how spiritual transference happened. You know, I wasn't aware that people's demons can hop onto you, or you will start feeling energetically what that other person is going through. And I've always identified like as an empath because I can feel what other people are going through, but it was like different. Like, it's almost like it started interacting with my sleep. It started interacting with like how I felt throughout the day. It got deep, but I was so committed to helping people that I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be reading cards. It's bringing healing to people. It's bringing, you know, deliverance. And I wasn't aware that everything that seems good truly isn't good. And that's because I didn't have the type of knowledge that I have today and the type of discernment and God, okay? So yeah, that's how I got into it, from a YouTube video. I started looking more into like tarot. I started looking into birth charts, you know, your astrological stuff, sage crystals, spiritual baths. I started reading more into different cultures and what they studied. I literally just did like a deep dive into religion, and I started absorbing a lot of knowledge. So now let's talk about it. I know people who be like, if you was born and raised in the church, how did you get involved? At the time, I didn't have the relationship I have now with God, and I felt like the things that people were saying about God were true. And that's where having a personal relationship with God comes into play, because people will tell you stuff and manipulate things, and it will sound so correct, it will sound so good, and the whole time it can be further from the truth. It can be a whole lie. You know what I'm saying? Just manipulative, like the devil. You feel what I'm saying? Like how he did Eve in the garden. Like people like, oh, how could Eve fall so victim? Baby, because she was manipulative. Like, you know, that thing sounded right, and she went along with it. And same for me. Like the things that I was learning about different cultures and about, you know, spirituality, and like the things I was learning myself in my personal life, it just made sense at the time. So you can never think that you're too smart for the devil's antics, right? And you can never be too smart for God. So yeah, that's how I got involved with New Age spirituality. My next question was, what was your experience? My experience was very bittersweet. Like I said, it was like bitter because I was taking on a lot of baggage, spiritual weight, spiritual energies. I was opening a lot of spiritual doors that I was not equipped to handle. And it was also sweet because I felt like I was helping people, and in a way I truly was, giving people advice, etc., etc. The only thing that it was like, I don't know, I felt like it's bittersweet. Just to sum it up, like there were things I loved about it, there were things that I didn't love about it. The next question is, how did this lead you back to God? Now, and don't mind the sauce, y'all. Whatever. I feel like God already knew exactly what was going on and exactly how he was going to place things in my path, and I was going to need him again. So it led me back to God because, like, in a way, like, I don't know if I was like escaping reality through tarot, or actually I feel like I was doing both, because I genuinely do help people. Like I'm going to school for that right now. I genuinely enjoy helping people, but I feel like I did also use like tarot as an escape tool from the pain I was feeling in my own reality. So it got to a point to where like the tarot cards, you know, it started getting too heavy. The spiritual baggage I was carrying plus taking on from other people started getting too heavy, and there are certain things that you can't escape from. It's like you have to go through it to get over it. So I remember going through so much, feeling so many different emotions, and eventually I was just like, God, like, my bad, y'all, my daughter is right here, but I was just like, God, like, I feel drained, I feel empty still, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm living in my highest purpose. Like, I need you. And I started having conversations with with God and building a true relationship, because at first I just knew of God, but I didn't know God, you know. And once I started like truly walking with, and once I truly started walking with God and getting to know God for real, God started exposing where the weight was within me. God started exposing things within me that I needed to change. And that's when I started realizing, oh, okay, God, like, you're a disciplinary person, but you're also very loving. Like, I just started building a relationship with God, y'all. And that changed my life. I started getting back into like listening to uplifting music, because I was listening to this devil music, y'all. If you know, you know, like, the world is full of like low vibrational people who are trying to lead you straight to hell, honestly. So I started changing the music I listened to. I started changing the people I interacted with. I started changing the videos I watched on YouTube. And I truly just, you know, tried to fill everything that I had filled with, like, the devil with God. And that really helped. And I started getting back into church. And that was one place I swore to myself I was never going back to, y'all. I had been out of church for like at least 2-3 years. Like, I got back into church. I got baptized. And I truly started taking my walk with God seriously. And that's when things in my life started to change for the better. And I could truly feel this change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So somebody asked me, do you regret dealing with the occult? Quite frankly, no, I don't. I feel like everything that you go through leads you to a certain experience that you need for your self-development. So if I didn't learn about the things that I learned, I wouldn't know how to equip myself properly in this world. And I'm a mother, so I have to be able to teach my children how to identify the attacks of the enemy. I have to be able to teach my children, you know, how to handle certain situations without, you know, feeling like you need an outside source other than God. You know what I'm saying? So, and God is within you. So truly you don't need anything outside of yourself, just you and God. So I feel like I needed to learn that the hard way. I've always been the type that I have to learn the hard way. And this was one of those things where God had to take me through it to understand why, how, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm forever thankful for that experience. It truly shaped who I am as an individual. And quite frankly, I still believe in certain things. Like I open my eyes to, like, you know, different foods, and why we shouldn't eat certain foods. You know, don't talk about it right now. I'm cheating today. Okay, why we shouldn't listen to certain people, music with those hidden messages in it, with those hidden frequencies. You know, I learned about the different phases of, you know, life and how it affects us. Oh my gosh, y'all, meditation and how to truly sit and, you know, listen for God's voice. So different things truly did I keep with myself till this day, and I'm forever thankful that I had those experiences. So no, nothing I've ever been through I regret, because it shapes who you are as a person. Yeah. It says tips for anyone on a spiritual journey. So I would definitely say, like, God, keep God first. Ground yourself in God. Like, don't listen to who people tell you God is. Get to know God for yourself on a spiritual level, because that's really going to help you stay grounded in God, okay? Be aware of the enemy's tactics. Y'all, the devil ain't dumb. The devil he was an angel. So, and he was a high-ranking angel at that. So don't think that the devil is dumb or that you're manipulating the devil. Girl, okay? The devil knows. The devil knows exactly how to get to you. The devil calls 1/3 of the angels to turn away from God. So the devil knows exactly how to manipulate you into thinking what you're doing is good. So, you know, be aware of the enemy's tactics, and you can only be aware by, number one, being grounded in God, and number two, knowledge. Okay? Knowledge. Heighten your knowledge. Read your Bible. Read spiritual books about history. Okay? Read. Gain knowledge in all things, because it's really going to help you in terms of knowing why certain things happen or why certain things are the way they are. The Bible says our people will perish because of a lack of knowledge. And quite frankly, that was me. I thought I was doing something right because of my lack of knowledge. But as I've grown with God and as I'm walking with God more and more, things are becoming more clear, and I'm getting more of an understanding as to why certain things are the way they are. And also prayer. Y'all, keep God first. Pray, meditate, take time away from this noisy, busy earth to just sit with yourself, sit with God. Give God some time to speak to you. Give God some time to be with you. Give time for yourself, you know? And I feel like that's really going to help you, like, ground yourself as well, so that you're not easily moved. Because, you know, starting your day off in silence with God, baby, it sets the tone for a lot of things. But yeah, y'all, I truly I'm thankful for everything that I've been through. I'm thankful for the people that have loved me through all of my different phases. And if you have been through something similar, please let me know in the comment section. I don't mind going live with different people and we can share our experiences together, because you know, people need to understand that there is a spiritual war going on your soul. And there are a lot of manipulation tactics being done nowadays to keep you stuck and stagnant. But at the end of the day, God will prevail, okay? So I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me with this cute mukbang. Just know I'm about to bust this seafood down, okay, bye? But y'all, if you have any more questions, hit me up. I will post an NGL link. Like, if you have any questions you want to ask anonymously, you don't want people to know, like you don't want me to know what you're asking, I'll post a link in the description box. That way you can ask your question. I will answer it. And if y'all want a part 2, let me know. But yeah, thank y'all. Thank you for get my first mukbang. I'm loud. But yeah, y'all have a great day. Mwah. Bye.
Love yours. No such thing. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing. No such thing. Heart beating fast. Let a nigga know that he alive.